And for Off the Block, I'm Vinny Lopes, and we are now joined by St. Francis's head coach, Coach Rummy. And Coach, we look at this upcoming week. Your team is traveling out to Indiana to play Ball State and IPFW and what were dubbed the inaugural East vs. Midwest Challenge. What's your initial thoughts on these two non-conference road matches?
I think it's been an exciting weekend. We got to see a little bit of IPFW out in California play, and they look really good. I don't know a lot about Ball State right now because they have lost their middles to graduation and a couple other players. But at the same time, they don't know anything about us. This past weekend, we started 4 freshmen in the lineup, including all 3 passers. But I was excited starting those guys because we actually exceeded my expectation in serve receive, and I thought they showed some real good moments of great promise. But as freshmen always do, it was tough to finish the matches. But I think what we're doing this week, working at practice, is we're trying to work on finishing. So we go out to IPFW at Ball State. I think it's going to be a huge battle again, but I hope we finish a little better than we did last weekend.
Yeah, and talking about last weekend, a little bit of a deceiving record. You guys, go 0-4, but you had just looking at the box scores, looks like you had lots of opportunities to pull off some potential upsets, especially that match against UCLA when you pushed them to 4.
Yeah, what happened in the match is the same thing. It's the young guys. On one hand, they're too young and naive to know how good the other teams are supposed to be. So they start up the match and they play pretty well, but then they always get caught up in the name of the college, and they see UCLA in that jersey, and they start to pucker up a little bit at the end of the matches and get more nervous. And I think they also look at the ABCA rankings and say, "Wow, this is the number 4 team in the country," and I think they actually get worried about that, and they forget who they're playing on the other side of the net. So all the matches we actually started out, and we play with teams, we get leads on teams, and then things just kind of fall off. They make a couple of mistakes here and there, and then they get really intimidated to make mistakes. And then the West Coast schools just kind of keep clicking along and doing what they do, and mentally they're just a little bit tougher than we are right now.
And as you talked about, you have a really young team this year. From a coaching standpoint, is that a little bit of element of excitement having such a young team and just kind of seeing the on-tap potential that they could have?
Yeah, and it seems like I've been trying this for years now, where I kind of go in cycles where I take a big class and I see what I can do with that big class. And my goal is still I want to get to the NCAA playoffs, and to get there, you have to figure that way and knock off Penn State. And I think George Mason and some of those schools are getting pretty tough too now. But what I try to do is I take these young kids and I put them on the court for 3 or 4 years together in a row, hoping that their junior, senior year we can do some damage. Last year, I thought we had a great group of guys, but the injury bug just hit us every week. We got hit by another injury. But when we get the young guys, it's kind of nice because everything you say is new to them, and they're sponges, and they absorb it, and they're looking for more feedback. By the time they're juniors and seniors, you're just not saying a whole lot to them anymore. Or at that point, they think they know more than you sometimes. But I love working with these young guys, and we had a new assistant coach, first time we ever had a full-time assistant coach, in Jordan Bari, and these guys, it's everything he says, they cling to it because it's just all new to them, and they love to hear more information.
And looking at your upcoming matches against Ball State and IPFW, historically, the last 3 years you've played both these teams really close. You've actually gone 3 straight years beating one of them. What is it about this matchup that always just seems to bring out some of the best in your team?
It seems like we always play them the second weekend of our season. Where they come here, we go there. And by that time, we actually have a little bit of video of each other. And so now you can kind of present what each other has, and you can put a game plan together. And I think when you do the game plan, and guys can look at it and you can break people apart, I think there's more energy in the gym with it instead of just showing up and play your best kind of deal. So I think whenever you have the game plans, and it just seems like the NCAA match is starting to roll around, and it's excitement of the new year, and usually everybody's pretty healthy at that point. You can battle and you go at it the hardest. And it seems like we always split with those teams, and we win one, lose one. It doesn't matter if it's the first day or second day, but I think it's the excitement of playing the MIVA, have a little bit of knowledge about what the other team's going to do, and then guys just get the juices swell and they get excited for it. But it's hard to keep the adrenaline up both days in a row because you get that win, and we're the small school, and that first win sometimes an upset, and the second one's kind of a little letdown. Or it goes the other way where you lose to the first team you play, and now you're a little ticked off, you have a little anger in your system, and you go into the next match with a little punch on your shoulder kind of thing, and you go after a little bit harder. So that seems like it's always splits up. I think both teams, we run into a lot of recruiting battles with both teams, so we kind of go after the same kid, and it's the same level of play. Most of the kids know each other from JOs and club, so it's more familiarity with those teams also.
And Coach, talking about your team, it's young. There might be some people who might not know a whole lot about some of the players, but give people maybe one player you think could have a really big breakout year this season.
Yeah, we are starting one here, Mike Marshman, and I know he eventually wants to get to the right side, but right now he's still stuck in the middle. But Marsh is touching 11-10 right now. He's getting up pretty high. If we can get our pass into control and make him a big part of the offense, I think he could be the guy who could have a key breakout year. Another one of the freshmen is a redshirt freshman, Steve Roswell, that we put on the court. Last year he could have got more playing time, but we chose to set him back a year. But his leadership and attitude and drive on the court is going to make him somebody special too. And I think he's another guy to look out for.